Oh me, it's right at 2:30, and this is Tuesday, and we are in Colorado Springs, Colorado, at the 2007 CALLERLAB Convention. This is the panel titled Demolitions. Demolitions is a play upon the term demonstration. The reason this panel is titled Demolitions is because sometimes when we do demonstrations, they actually become demolitions. My name is Vernon Jones, and I'm going to be the moderator today. And give a big hand. This is Patty Greene. And in just a minute, we'll turn it over to her, and then she'll do a presentation, and then I'll give a short one. Our goal today is to give you some of our thoughts and ideas that will hopefully have some. And then we'll plus tax. Our goal today is to give you some of our thoughts and ideas, and I've always wanted to be a caller and spit things out really fast. And then we will hopefully have some open mic time for you to share your ideas and thoughts. We would like to remind you that this session is being recorded, hopefully, and whatever questions you have and whatever answers are given need to be done through the microphone so that it'll be on the recording. We have said many times that when we listen to these recordings, we hear some really great answers, but we never heard what the questions were. So I'm going to try to be doing my best that when it comes time for question and answers, that we'll pass this microphone back and forth and get it to you so you don't have to come up here. So if you have questions after Patty's presentation, then we'll go into that, or what we'll probably do is just wait until both are done, and then we'll go into questions and answers if that's okay with y'all. At this time, we'll give it to Patty.
Are you cold? So how many of you do demos? Don't be shy. How many of you like to do demos? How many of you, when your club says, hey, we'd like to do a demo, secretly inside go, oh? Nobody? Wow. I do every once in a while, depending on the club. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think. I think there are three kinds of demolitions. Hold on, let me write on my little piece of paper, demo. Demo. And I'm just going to give you a couple things to think about with each of these three types of demos that I think. And then Vernon's going to show you what he actually does, which is kind of cool. So, three types of demos, I think. You have exhibitions / performances. You have promotional, which are come dance with me. And then you have what I like to call the goodwill demos, which have, that you're not looking for dancers, you're just kind of spreading the goodwill. I think in today's square dance society, a lot of square dance clubs have forgotten that whole goodwill side. It's not just about the dance. If your club wants visibility, if your club wants to be known in your community, if you want to have somebody say, oh man, they are just a great bunch of people, you got to do some goodwill. Otherwise, you're acting in a microcosm, and don't be surprised that nobody knows you exist, except for that little strange sign that your club puts out once or twice a week to show that that's where you're dancing. So let's start with the most hands-off type of demo, and that's exhibitions and performances. With all of these, if you're asked, if I as a caller, if I am asked to do a demo, I need to find out from my club what the audience and some other things are, because I'm in charge of that demo. As much as the club thinks they're in charge of the demo, the caller sets the tone for what happens and what goes on during that demonstration. Clubs mean well, great people. They can be full of energy, they cannot be full of energy, but sometimes the well-intentions spiral right down into the demolition end. And I'm sure you've all been present at those where you just shake your head at your club members going, man, you guys missed that great opportunity. So exhibitions. First, you got to know who your target audience is. It could be, Vernon was asked to do a demo for a big fancy Chamber of Commerce. Just come and dance for us. We just want to have some entertainment. You can be asked to do a parade. which is kind of an exhibition, and I'm not talking formal Colorado dancers, you rehearse for 300 hours and then you put on this show, although some clubs do have that. So who's your target audience? Are they just going to be sitting watching you? Are they expected to entertain you? What kind of equipment are you going to need? How big's your hall going to be? Because if there's nothing worse when you're entertaining, if you can't be heard or seen, then you may as well not go. What dancers have volunteered to come? With an exhibition or a performance, I think that your dancers they don't have to be young. They don't all have to be the same age, but they do have to be energetic. And that type of thing, you're trying to display that this is something fun to do. We enjoy doing this. We have a lot of fun. We're entertaining. It's not just about getting together in a square of 8 and doing your thing and getting mad at each other if you messed up. Dress when it comes to exhibitions. I can go either way on that. It's nice to see a cohesive square of people. It's also nice to see some variety. I wouldn't necessarily come wearing jeans if it were a formal exhibition demonstration. But I don't think it has to necessarily all be crinoline, if you want to strike a balance. It's important to let your dancers know right up front, too, not only me as a caller, but your dancers know what to expect. If you're going out to the county fair to just see if you can drum up some business, that's completely different than going to the big convention center with the dignitaries of your city, and to put on a performance. And also, you got to think about the type of music. For me, when I do a demo, I like to know who I'm doing this demo for, because even if it's an exhibition or a goodwill or I'm trying to get dancers, I want to, as a caller, I need to target my music to that audience. If it's a college campus and you've been asked to participate in their talent show / this is what our community offers, whatever. I know that's kind of hypothetical. You're going to do different music than if you've been asked to come in and do a performance for the AARP because they get entertainment, straight entertainment, on stage entertainment. You can do different music then. Which goes into my third category, which is goodwill. I love when my club back in New Hampshire would say, we want to do a demo at the nursing home. Now, a lot of dancers and a lot of clubs say, we're not going to waste our time dancing and doing a demolition at a nursing home because we're not going to get anybody to dance. So what? Who cares? You're building rapport in your community. You are giving something back to people. I have done many nursing home demos, and I'll tell you two brief anecdotes that will always stay with me. I was hired to do a demo at a nursing home. They were having family day, and they wanted I don't know why they picked square dancing, because it was a nursing home as opposed to an assisted living or an IL facility. But I'm happy to come. I had 1 or 2 dancers that were interested, but they didn't think they'd get any dancers, so they didn't really want to come. So we went. It was in October. October in New England is beautiful. We're outside. God smiled. It was this beautiful, starry night. It was just a beautiful night. They had family members, they had staff members, they had all these wheelchair people out, and I started to do my thing. You look around first and you're thinking, this is not going to go well. I have 4 dancers. I can't do a 2-couple square all night. So I put on, in that case, I used a lot of big band, oldies, swing music, the old standards, which I love. And I put down on the music, and before as a caller, I had walked around and I asked the administrator. She had talked to a couple of people and said, to make this work, you have to dance. Well, when all was said and done, I ended up spending an hour and a half. We had people pushing people in wheelchairs. I had family kids, grandkids were there dancing for their grandparents. Some of the staff were dancing. And what was interesting for me is initially how our older generation, the ones who are in wheelchairs or they can't do anything, I remember when. I play a little name that tune, because you got to try, and this is goodwill. This isn't, I'm not aiming for any dancers. When I put down on record, I say, I bet you don't know this one, and it's Cabaret. Or, I left my heart in San Francisco, and they had a blast. Get done, they give me my check, I pack up my equipment, I leave. Oh, what a great night, blah, blah, blah. Well, a week later, I get a personal note from the administrator thanking me. She said there were two things she wanted to tell me. The first was they had a gentleman move in, kicking and screaming, didn't participate in anything. We're talking nothing. They're the one who you figure they're going to move in and they're sad, but they're going to die in like a week. Well, he apparently came out to this thing, met people, laughed. I remember him because we pushed him around, and he had the ball. And now he's found his rhythm in this nursing home. To me, I didn't get a dancer, but I probably gave somebody a little bit better quality of life. There was another woman who was apparently a dancer when she was younger. Loved music, old, arthritic, wheelchair, going to be wheelchair bound for the rest of what she's got left of her life. She came out, and at the very end, when they were wheeling her back in, she was weeping because she never thought she would ever be able to dance under the stars again. All we did was circle left. As a club, what better goodwill and ambassadors are you going to get with that? It's just amazing. Now, the other one I did, my local club, their local nursing home, somebody works at the nursing home, can you come do a demo? We're just looking for activities. So I had probably 15 club members. Now, when they got there, they thought that they were going to be dancing. And I said, because they'd never seen me at a nursing home, and I said, you know what, we're going to dance one dance, but I want you to look around, and I want you to pick out a wheelchair or somebody who will dance. We can't do that. Well, at the end of the day, the club did one dance, two dances, one at the beginning, one at the end. The rest of the time, they spent pushing wheelchairs around and doing circle left and do-si-do and going in the middle and laughing and backing up. And the club came together because they had to work together to get these people dancing. So goodwill, don't forget about those goodwill demos, because it's not just about getting dancers for your club, I don't think. And that leads me to our promotional demos, which is where most come into become demolition derbies. How many of you do demos in August, frantically getting people to come to your classes? Throughout the year? And do you have the same people who come all the time, pretty much? Is it just like a handful of people, or do you have a pretty good representation of your club? Same people? When your club members come, do they talk to people, or do they kind of hope that somebody else is going to do the talking to all the people in the audience? I'm just throwing out situations that have happened to me. Do you, as a caller, involve people right from the start? Or do you wait till the end and then throw them in a 2-minute, okay, let's get one person dancing, which is what a lot of clubs do. The club comes in. As a caller, my job at a promotional demo is to present this activity as something that is approachable and achievable to all the people sitting there. In a county fair situation, in a street fair, in a party thing, in a town event, you get all different kinds of people. And as a caller, you have to go in to your toolbox. Musically, you need to use a wide variety of music. Me personally, when my dancers are dancing, I only do singing calls. And I keep them simple, because you never know what somebody's going to respond to. And I've seen callers do demos where they're trying to get people dancing, and what they do is they do all this complicated choreography, the dancers are, nobody makes a mistake, and blah, 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 and everybody's in their petticoat and their crinoline. Would you want to go to an event like that? I mean, honestly, I don't want to participate in something like that, where if I can't make a mistake. So sometimes if I'll even make a mistake, and see, you turn around, see, they all got back to whoever they are. Look at them; they're at least having a good time, so that people know you're not. It doesn't have to be perfect. With my dancers, the most effective club who does demos that I used to do demos for, it didn't matter that you couldn't dance, because we all have club members who can't dance, whether through the heat or whatever. They were out talking to people and not sticking out their hand, "Hi, I want you to come dance with me." They were actually talking to people. "Hey, where are you from? You look familiar to me. Would you like to give it a try? You look like, this looks like something you can do." No, she'll get you through. Kind of working the crowd and making sure that everybody on the perimeters they'd go off into the perimeters, and then there's people dancing. And I always tell clubs, you got to make sure you can't all come in crinoline, no matter what you think. Today's world, if you show up in crinoline to get dancers to your club, half the people are going to sit there politely like you're doing right now and say, "Honey, doesn't that look fun? They look like they're having such a good time. I have Wednesday nights free, but let's go get a hot dog." And you all know it happens. But if you've got people in jeans, prairie skirts, as long as they're clean, people are clean, the Western shirts, maybe the guys have a golf shirt on, maybe the women have the crinolines on, it doesn't matter, and they look like they're having fun, I might sit there and say, "Wow, they look like me. They look like real people like me. Maybe I could try this." And if the caller's doing things that are easier, because it's not about me as a caller impressing these people in the audience, they could care less about choreography. If you think about it, they could care less that you just got your square through a spin the widget and they executed it flawlessly. What they see is people moving and laughing and spinning and right and left grandin and laughing. So there's a lot of things to think about when you do these demos. I had a dream about this. I've been a little stressed lately, and I dreamed that what Vernon and I did was everybody was sitting here, and we were late. Nothing worse than being late to something you're supposed to be doing. And we ended up conning like 2 squares of dancers to help us with this. They came in all formally dressed, didn't talk to any of you. Nobody. We got up, we called this stuff, we paid attention to the dancers, didn't as a caller, I didn't interact with you, I didn't say anything to you guys. The dancers left. How would you feel about that? No, I'm asking you, how would you feel if you were in the audience watching a demo like that? Would that be a demo or a demolition? Exactly. As opposed to, as a caller coming up, you got people milling around. "Hey, we're going to show you some square dancing." You don't even have to be like artificially bubbly or anything. And look, I'll show. They'll get this one. Watch them get this one. This one's easy. Hey, you guys can. Hey, let's have somebody try. We're going to get people try. Go find somebody to dance, and you just get people to. I browbeat people into dancing. You could do it. The cop walks by. I think it would be a good image to the community if a police officer came and danced. You can dance with your gun, not a problem. Or somebody, a vendor. But see, now I got you to laugh, didn't I? No. No, but you all know, if you can get that transient crowd to laugh, they'll stick around, right? You as callers, I don't care how old you are, what gender you are, if you can get those strangers to laugh, they're going to try, if they can. You got a group of, a parent comes with their child, and they're just kind of sitting there, and you say, "Come on, it's good for all ages." You get a child up, and then you put on a piece of music that, I use Venus a lot, the real Venus. I use non-standard. I use standard music. I never use in a demo the real old-fashioned, unless that's specifically what they want. Because I've had people say, "We want a demo, but we specifically want it country music, older country music." I'll use a wide variety. Something that is happy music. and then get them up with a lot of whooping and yelling and never stop. That's the other thing I'll tell you about demos. If you're trying to get people hooked, don't take a break. You as a caller are going to work harder, but you talk to your dancers beforehand, and you say, okay, this is how it's going to be. We're going to do a demonstration dance, maybe two singing calls, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to keep going. And you guys rotate in and out, but I need your help. And you've got to rotate in and out. And if people aren't dancing, and if it's a hot day, I'll say, hey, we'll give you a break, but let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this activity. Do you know you can do it all over the world? Hi, Kenny. Do you know that we have we travel all over the country doing this, and you don't have to have any experience? Do you know, and I always say, do you know my husband never danced? He doesn't dance at all, but he loves to square dance because all he has to do is walk. All you got to do is walk. Come on up and give it a try. So, anyways. So the key is, if your club asks you to do a demo, if you want to do a demo, ask them, and if they don't know, they need to find out beforehand. What kind of demo is it? Very important. And if it's at a nursing home or someplace where you don't have a prayer of getting dancers, it doesn't matter, because you don't know what will come around. Trust me, you don't know what will come around. Because those old people have families. There are people that work in that nursing home who have lives outside of the nursing home. And if you're nice to somebody, genuinely nice, and give them that little taste, you never know. So you got to ask who your target audience is. You got to ask what the environment's going to be. Outside, inside, transient. Where are you going to be on the field campground? I did a demo. YMCA had not a carnival, but a Western festival down in Charlotte, and they had pony rides. They had a chili cook-off. They had a activities field. They had a food thing, and I was told, we want you to come have square dancing. There's a pavilion. And I thought, oh, wow, that'd be really fun. Oh, it's our after-school program. We'll get a ton of people. They had a ton of people, but the food was on the back side of the building of this pavilion. So what happened was people would walk by to the back of the building, get their food, and sit. One of those, I got people to dance, but if I knew in advance, I would have asked them, do you think you could move me to somewhere where at least the people who are eating could see what was going on and be drawn? And then really think about your music. Think about your choreography. It doesn't have to be. In fact, it's better if it is simple, because you want your dancers to succeed. You don't want them to have to think about what you're going to call next. And if it's a sequence you've called 100 times in a singing call, it really doesn't matter. If they're having a good time, they're laughing, their feet are moving, and it's peppy, the audience is going to respond. If you put on funeral music, they're going to leave. I don't want to watch it. I'm here for a fun event, and I don't want to listen to it, and I probably don't want to participate in it. So they don't have to be demolitions. If you've got a club that's really cranky about we have to wear our club outfits, well, do you think one of you could wear your club T-shirt? That's part of your club outfit, right? Do you think, because, and there's ways to talk to your club to get them to understand. So, any questions? Good.
How about a nice hand for Patty? Patty touched on several of the subjects that I was going to, and so I'm not going to read or talk about those. I'm just going to hit upon the paragraphs where it may talk about a little something different. And then what I really want to get to is the square dance routine that the demonstration group that I am involved with uses. And I'll give an explanation. And those are the handouts that I have, and I'll pass those out right before we get a able-bodied square up to do them. Callers should look at coming into the 21st century with their music. Too many times we've heard people talk about we need to entice young people. We want to get more young people into our activity. If a caller is doing a demo for young people at a school or church or some other venue where young people are going to be, and you are still using vinyl records, then the young people will automatically have probably a non-favorable attitude against you. Their first impression of you will be that you are outdated and hokey. It is very likely that young people from high school age on down have never even seen a vinyl record before. Even if you are one of those callers that are steadfastly not going to change to anything newer, you should at least have enough music on a CD to do a demo. Another musical consideration should be singing calls. Many times at demos that I have personally been involved with, we have witnessed people stopping by to see what we were doing and then moving on. With today's technology, it is very easy to have a medley of different singing calls. You can put together several types of music that will interest many tastes. Consider using a little bit of country, then adding some gospel perhaps, then a ballad, and then in with a rock and roll song. The way that I put my medley together was to use the opener and first figure of a country singing call, then use the opener and first figure of a gospel song, then the opener and first figure of a ballad, then the last figure and the closer of an upbeat rock and roll song. I allowed enough time between the different styles to give a short explanation that square dancing uses many types of music and to introduce the style of music that is about to play. You must be careful, however, to not spring this on the dancers cold. At least warn them of what is coming, and better yet, rehearse with the dancers before doing the demo. Dancers have been comfortable with singing calls having an opener, 2 figures, a middle break, 2 figures, and then a closer. And if the dancers are not ready for the difference, then the result will be less than desirable. Since we have started using the singing call medley, we have noticed that people will stop by, begin to move on, and then be brought back by the change in music. Our demo group will put plants in the audience if there is going to be audience participation. Plants are people who know how to dance but are dressed in everyday clothes. Everyday clothes meaning whatever type of clothes that people in attendance are likely to be wearing. Examples are, should your demo be done at a PTA meeting, then most people in attendance will probably be coming from work. Therefore, that type of dress should be what your plants are dressed in. Should your demo be at a county fair, then the plants should be dressed like the people who would attend that type of function. People, when asked to get up and participate, are hesitant. They are especially hesitant if they are the first ones to get up. Having plants in the audience who are showing a real interest about what the demo is doing and are making comments about how fun that looks and are saying that they would really like to give it a try, and then being one of the first ones to get up when the call for volunteers goes out will make the other people feel more at ease. What you should absolutely make sure of is that your plants don't give themselves away. Our demo group had to learn this lesson the hard way. We had some people who were going to be plants at the fair in Fort Worth, Texas. We were smart enough to tell them not to stand and talk with the other demo dancers before the demo started. The reason is, of course, obvious, and that you don't want everyone to make the connection that the plants are really a part of the demo group. And the reason for that is people don't like to be fooled, and you don't want to embarrass them about being fooled. That would defeat the purpose of the plant. We even talked with our plants about what type of clothing to wear. The fair in Fort Worth is done in May, so most people will be wearing clothing that would be comfortable for that time of year. T-shirts and shorts being the common wear, and that is the type of clothing that we told our plants to wear. On the day of the demo, everything went according to plan. The plants arrived separately from the demo dancers so as not to arouse suspicion, but the T-shirts that they were wearing gave them away. Several had on T-shirts with the slogan, "Square Dance for the Health of It." Some had their club T-shirts on, and one lady not only had her club's T-shirt on, but was handing out Learn to Dance information. So if you're going to be using plants, make sure they don't give themselves away. The type of dance choreography that you use for your demo is also an important tool. Square dancing, when you think about it, is not a very good spectator sport. Practically everything that we go to today has the audience facing one direction and the object of the audience facing the other. Witness a concert, going to a movie, and this type of venue right here. Practically everything is going one direction and the audience facing the other. Everything is geared for the performers to face their intended audience. The reasoning is that the audience will see the performer's actions and facial expressions. In square dancing, the performers will, for the most part, be facing the center of the square and thus not be facing the audience. The audience is left seeing mostly the backs of the performers. You should look for choreography, and we're going to talk about the routine, that type of routine here in just a minute, that will allow the dance performers to show their fronts to the audience as much as possible. And since you are going to have dance choreography that will allow the performers to be facing the audience, it should be strongly emphasized that smiling faces are required. Dancers that are learning a new routine that is going to be out of their normal comfort zone will concentrate very hard. A face that is concentrating is not a happy face. One of the things that we all advertise to non-dancers is that square dancing is a fun activity. Yet should non-dancers see a demo with no happy faces, then these non-dancers will wonder where the fun is. And believe it, non-dancers see more than you think they see. It is possible for the demo dancers to perform routines with smile upon their faces, but it will take practice and rehearsal. Now then, this is where we're going to hand out these handouts, and then I'm going to ask for a square to come up, and we're going to demo these. I've got 30 of these. There are more than 30 people in here. At this particular time, I'm going to ask if you're a partner, if you're here with your partner, help pass those around, please. If you're here with your partner, that perhaps one of you take it. Pass these around, please. And make sure that somebody else gets the others. If there's not enough for everybody to go around when this is over and you are still interested in getting one of these, if you will come up and put your name and email address up here, I would be more than happy to send one of these to you.
So if some of you have an email address and it's okay to get it emailed, how about giving it up to somebody who is not online? You will get a copy.
And once you get one, I'm going to need, like I said, a square up here. And if I can't get one really quick, I'll start picking people. No.
Remember, happy faces. At least nobody has their Learn to Square Dance t-shirts on.
Yes. As you can see, the plants that just came out of the audience do not have their Learn to Square Dance t-shirts on. On this routine, you will notice that I have the calls underlined and then some explanation besides some of them. And when you do yours, if you want to use this, you can do away with the explanations. The explanations are just there for our learning purposes. I would suggest that you, whatever this routine or whatever routine you want to use, that you memorize it. Because remember, we're doing this for non-dancers, and it's not a cool thing for dancers to be doing a real neat thing and the caller to be standing over here with his head looking into this, because too many times this will happen. Okay? Because remember, non-dancers are going to be fascinated by what's going on, and they're going to be fascinated by a caller. Okay, that's just one thing that they're just absolutely obsessed with. They want to see where the caller is. Too many times we go to demos and the caller is standing over here because of where things are, or standing behind the people or whatever, and you don't get to see them. Now remember, I'm going to take some liberties with some of these dance calls, and I can do that because this is not an open dance. This is kind of like a closed thing, and we're doing some things with some calls that an open dance would probably not go very well. Okay? Now then, the dance demo group that we have has 3 squares. And the reason for 3 squares is because, well, in this type of venue that we're in right now, it wouldn't be very necessary. But what if we were in a horseshoe type of venue where we had people here and people here and people here? Okay, so we would have one square that would be geared for these people. This square over here would be geared for these people over here, and these people, this square would be geared for these people over here. And the reasons are going to become obvious here in a minute. One of the things that we change as opposed to regular square dancing is we make the couple with their back to the audience be the number 1 couple. Okay? Now remember, I've made this presentation before, and I've had dancers say, "Well, you're changing everything because you're making these people be the number 1 couple." Well, remember, this is not an open dance. Okay, this is a practiced routine that we use, and our demo participants practice these things quite regularly. The first thing you'll see on there, and we're not going to dance everything. You know how to do a grand square. The first thing you'll see on there is bow to the partner in the corner too, and okay, and we do that. the next thing don't do it until I get through explaining it. Next thing you'll see is all 8 to the middle with a great big yell. You'll notice out to the side that you may want to substitute cowboy yell here. That all depends on the venue or the day that you're there. If you're doing a Western day, cowboy yell would do pretty good. Okay? If you're at a high school and it's just a regular day, cowboy yell may not go over very, very well. They may not be interested in cowboy stuff. Okay? If you're there on Western day, cowboy yell would probably go over pretty good. So, one of those things that you need to look out for. What we're going to do on this all 8 to the middle and back is we're going to go up to the middle and back. Couple number 1 is automatically going to do a U-turn back. Okay? These 2 side couples over here, when they go in, they're going to do a U-turn back, and they're going to kind of bend this way. This couple over here is going to do a U-turn back and kind of bend this way so people can see their what? Smiling faces. Once they get out here, once they come back out, they're just not going to go, hey, they're going to wave, and immediately you turn back in to face the center of the square again. Okay? The side couples, as they come out to here, are going to blend back into their square again. Okay? Ready? You want to get that try? All 8 to the middle with a great big yell. See, smiling faces. Now then, I know this is kind of awkward right now, but what we practice in, as these people go in, hey, they come back out, hey, and immediately go right back in because we're going to go right into a routine. Okay? The next one that we do is heads to the center and make a left-hand star. Left hand. Find the corners and make a right-hand star. Heads to the middle with a left-hand star, side swing your partner. The reason we're doing stars is why? That's a lot of outside-facing stuff. Heads, when you get back home, you're done. The reason we give the side couples to swing is that gives them something to do while the heads are facing into the middle. Lots of times, non-dancers, when they see people standing, they go, oh, they're missing something. Okay? And so we want to give the impression that we know what we're doing. Okay? So we give the side couples something to do while the heads are starring left in the middle. Okay, here's where we would side swing your partner, and then we do a sides face grand square. Now, then we know how to do a grand square, but I want you to do one anyway. Sides face. Now then, what I'm toying with, we haven't got there to that point with the dance demo, is this is not a good thing because we have backs coming here and backs here. I'm toying with the idea of having this person turn around. Do that for me, please. This person turn around, and these 2 people turn around. And we would teach them to do that automatically. Now, then you can already see that this would take practice, wouldn't it? Okay? And so that's one of the things that we do with our practice routine. And if we practice this 400 times, it would become what? Easy. It'd become easy. But I'm toying with this so that people will be facing audiences. You folks are going to do your regular one. Y'all are going to back up, and y'all are going to walk forward. Okay? You think you can handle that? No doubt. And this is the only time. Now then, I would probably practice the grand square with any time you're on this side over here facing out. But we're just going to do a grand square. This is the only time I want you to face out. Once we get through these 4 steps, do a regular one. You want to give it a whirl? Ready? Grand square, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they did that good. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, there you go. And if you wanted to keep going, 1, 2. If you wanted to face the audience, that'll be fine. Hey, look at that. Huh? And we're facing audiences. And that's the whole basis behind this thing. Here we would do a sides forward and back. We know how to do that. Don't worry about that. The only reason that's in there is because this entire square dance routine times out with most square dance recorded pattern music and or singing calls. Square dance pattern music and singing calls, I don't care which ones they are, run about 4 minutes each. And that's about what this routine runs. Okay. Now then, if you're using, something you got off the internet, that may not work out. Here's where this couple right here needs to be the number 1 couple comes into play. Sides lead right, and do a right and left through. you'll notice that the next thing on here says 8 chain your couple number. I'm giving them plenty of time to think about this. And then, like I said, this is not something that we would do to dancers cold. We practice this, okay? On an 8 chain your couple number, how many hands is couple number 1 going to go? Okay. Couple number 1, after you dance that one hand, what are you going to do? You're going to stop. You're not going to do anything. Most dancers, until they get used to it, have a tendency to what? Either courtesy turn or turn around. Okay, and that's just a safety mechanism. I'm facing out. I know things are going on behind me there. I've got to be wrong, so the first thing I want to do is at least turn around and at least see what everybody else is doing. So you've got to make sure that you don't do that. Now then, what's not on here that we teach the demo group to do as a part of 8 chain your couple number is the couple number 1, after they do 1, are going to hesitate a beat, and then they're going to start sliding out a beat at a time. And they're going to do that 3 times. And the reason they're going to do that is because we're going to do an automatic triple centers in. Okay? Did y'all hear me? Y'all can handle that? Okay? Okay, because what I want you to do is couple number 1, when you get done, hesitate a beat, and then start sliding a beat out a beat at a time. As the other couples, after you get through doing your hands, when couple number 2 does their hands, I don't want you to stop. I want you to step right up between couple number 1, and then y'all start as a tandem, start head sliding apart. Couple number 3 does the same. Couple number 4, when you get done, you're going to have to go. Okay, you want to give it a whirl? Ready? 8 chain your couple number. Couple number 1, hesitate and start sliding apart. Couple number 2, step in, start sliding apart. Couple number 3, step apart. Girls are going one way, boys are going the other way. And look what we have. Where are they all facing? How many times in square dancing does that happen? Exactly. And this is also a great thing in your normal dances to end your dance with, because in normal square dancing, couple number 1 has their back to where? To the collar, and if you can you got to make sure that you guide them into it and this type of thing. But this is a great way to end your patter tip, or at the end of the night, and say thank you for letting me call for you, good night, ballad, and all this kind of stuff, and then you can get out for it. After that, we're going to do a dance forward and back. That just puts us all, facing audience. Are their faces smiling, or are they stern? Yeah, one of the things we stress. Okay, and then we're going to do a bend the line, but don't do it just yet. We're going to do a bend the line. Where will the line bend? We want it to bend here. Normally in square dancing, the line would bend here, wouldn't it? Because here's one line and here's another line. But in the demo group, we want the line to bend here. Okay? Dun, dun, dun. Be careful on this, because what we want, the edge of the stage is right here. So if this line bends this way, we're going to have people fall off. So what we've got to have is this bunch going backwards and kind of pivoting right here, and this bunch coming forward. Does that make sense? Okay, bend the line. I'm not going to linger very long here. Okay, the next move, turn the page. Is approved call, yeah. Is a star through. Do that. I don't want to linger very long here. Why? Right, exactly right. So the next call is going to be very quickly, California twirl. Now we're back facing here again. Okay? The next thing on the call is, if you'll look, is first couple go right, next couple, don't do it yet. First couple go right, next couple go right, next couple go right, next couple go right. Okay? We don't have to call that. Okay? Because we practice first couple go right, next couple go right, and everybody promenade. Your promenade is going to be the wrong way. Okay? The reason is because this couple's going to go this way, this couple's going to step up and then go this way, this couple's going to step up and then go this way, and so on and so forth. And that reinforces our putting our faces forward, okay? First couple go right, next couple go right, and everybody just keep on going, and then we're wrong way promenading, okay? Before you get home, we're going to join hands and circle left. See, that blends right into the circle left. We're going to go approximately halfway around and then circle right. We're going to go approximately halfway around and then drop hands and go single file. Good. And stop right here. We're really not facing in and back started, because as this group comes around, smiling faces. Everybody see? Continue on until the number one lady gets to the number 4 spot. Okay? You there? No, stop. Till the number one lady gets number 4 spot. Now slide the square that away. This dance venue is kind of small. You'll see the next thing is number one lady lead out to the right and make 2 stars, one like Venus and one like Mars. And if you were at the dance demonstration that Cal put on Sunday evening, you saw the Venus and Mars stars, didn't you? Okay. The reason we want ours right here is because these ladies, how many's ever danced the Venus and Mars stars? Good. They're really neat and they're really pretty easy. Is because right here faces towards the audience. Okay? Are y'all familiar with the Venus and Mars stars? Okay, the number one lady, what's going to happen is the number one lady is going to lead out this way, and we're going to continue turning the stars. The next lady, when she gets to this part, will blend into the star. Everybody will keep on going. The next lady, when she gets here, will blend, and we'll keep on going around, and the next lady will blend here. After the last lady goes, the men will put their left hands in, and they'll have a left-hand star, and the girls will automatically have a right-hand star. Okay? And we'll turn the star twice around until you meet your partner the second time. Okay? You want to try that? This way. Yeah, you want to go away from the other square. Now then what you need to do is, see, there's where your arc needs to be. A lot of times when the lady is right here, the first thing they do is go this way. You see how the difference between my star and that star? Pretty soon we got stars over here and over here. So what you want to do is you want to make a loop to out here, and everybody else will follow you. The guys will keep going. The girls will come out. Okay, you want to try that? Turn it. Make 2 stars. Keep going. Come on out. Next girl. Next girl. And what we want to try to do is make sure that you meet here with your partner. Then we're turning the stars correctly. Okay. Continue turn them again. And the reason we do this is why? Look what's coming in here right here. Faces towards the audience. Okay. Now then, we're going to reverse the stars. We're going to swap the stars. You do this by having the girl go in front of her partner. And the reason we swap the stars here is because why? Faces. I can't stress it enough. We're facing the people we're doing the demonstration for. The girls are going to go over in front of the guy to a left-hand star. The guys are going to go behind the girl to a right-hand star, and we're going to continue turning, and the girl's going to go, and the boy's going to go, and the girl's going to go, and the boy's going to go. You want to try that? Ready? Go. Reverse the star. Isn't that neat? Guys over here. Right hands in, guys. Right hands in. And we turn those stars twice until number one man meets number one lady. We're going to reverse the stars again. Girl's going to come in front, boy's going to go. Go, reverse the star. Girl go and the boy go. Girl go and the boy go. We're all facing audiences, aren't we? Look at that. Isn't that neat? Turn the stars twice around until number one man meets number one lady again. Stop. Now we're going to take the ladies out of the star, okay, by picking her up with an arm around and star promenade. And we do that with, again, the reason is here, we're picking them up right here facing the audience. Do that. Pick them up. Guys, continue turning. Picking up girls, picking up girls, picking up girls, picking up girls. Isn't that cool? Okay, now keep your star, but then, now come this way. Stop your star turning, but just come this way. Oh, man. Now then, if you'll notice on the next thing we're going to do is the old call inside out and outside in. How many remember the old call inside out and outside in? a neat call for demonstrations because it's going to put people facing audiences again. If you don't know how to do the old call inside out and outside in, just think of it as a wheel around once and a half. What we're going to do is the guy's going to back up and lead the girl around you, and we're going to go once and a half, and then we're going to put the girls in the middle of our star, and the boys will be on the outside. Okay? Ready? Inside out and outside in. And that puts girls in. And then we would turn the star. You know how to do that. From here, do a roll away. Girl, roll in front of the boy. Keep the star. Don't turn around. Keep the star. Guys are starring. We still got our star going. Here's where we're going to spread the star way out wide. Part of the old Texas star routine. Okay, we're going to spread. I know we're cramped, but that's okay. Here, guys, what you're going to do is make an arch with your right hands. Girls duck. Lead the girls around. Girls duck under the gents' right side. Find the corner. Allen man left. Amen, brother. And we would usually do a right and left grand and a promenade, but y'all know how to do that. I'm positive. Do what? What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you bet. Okay. The girls duck under the gents' right side to an Allen man left. We do a right and left grand and a promenade. And then we would swing the part when we get home. The reason to swing the partners when we get home is to make the routine time out with regular music. Here, let's do a circle left. Do a circle left. That's next. We want good enthusiasm. Ladies center, men sashay. Amen. Ladies center, men sashay. Stop the circle. We would continue circling, but this is a good thing because it shows enthusiasm, but it also has what? Backs to the audience, so we don't want to linger here very long. Allen man left. Do, si, do. That's only do, si, do in this entire routine. Star through. Join hands and circle right. Oh, I like this one. I like this one, sunny side out. We got people facing audiences again. Okay, stop your circle. We wouldn't stop the circle in the routine. We just keep going, okay? But remember, y'all are seeing this for the first time also. Here's where we're going to do a ladies out men sashay. Ladies are going to go out. Men are going to continue going to the right. Girls are going to back up, and we're going to sashay. Ready? Ladies out, men sashay. What happened to our enthusiasm? Oh, we had to think, didn't we? Huh? Yeah, we had to think, didn't we? Okay, and that's okay. That's why we practice this demo routine and we just don't throw this cold on people. And that's very understandable, isn't it? Okay, we practice it. We practice this very hard, but we want the same enthusiasm on this ladies out as we did on the ladies center. Okay, circle to the right. We're going to do it in motion. Are you ready? Ladies out, the men sashay. Yeah, and you circle to the right. How in the world are we going to get out of this? California twirl. Allen man left. And then we do a promenade or right and left grand or whatever. And that puts ladies facing out, people facing out, doesn't it? And then we do a swing of the partner on the end because that times out with most recorded music. We do a sides face grand square. I'm still toying with that, people facing out and all that kind of stuff. And then we do another all eight to the middle with a great big yell. And what do we do on all eight to the middle with a great big yell automatically? We go in, we U-turn back, y'all come out at an angle, y'all come out at an angle. I can't do much with y'all unless we want you running around the stage and all this kind of stuff. You ready? All eight to the middle with a great big yell. And I want you waving at audience people. Because what happens if I wave at you? You'll wave back at me, won't you? Okay? Give these folks a nice hand. Thank you. And we have two of these dance routines that are very different. And what we did, and the copy of that is the first one. But they both accomplish the same thing, which is dance routines that will make people face out. Now then, I know it didn't look very smooth because these fine dancers were seeing it for the first time. But once you practice it, it becomes very fluid in people facing out. Any questions or comments, or most importantly, what you might do for a demo? Now then, I'm going here, here, and here. Remind me of which order. I'm going here, here, and here. Remember that this is being taped, so please give us your name, where you're from, and then talk all you want.
Dora Olson, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Where would you not use that routine as a demo?
I don't think I would ever not be hesitant. I would, you bet. You bet. I would use it practically anywhere, because although it looked, and it probably, when we're doing it for the first time, it may feel difficult. Believe me, the group that we have, once you've done it 3 or 4 times, it's not difficult. And people, when they see stars, they're amazed by stars. And I love stars, and people can do stars. People relate to stars.
If you were trying to get new dancers and you wanted them to get up and dance with you, that looks a little bit complicated.
That very well may be true, and we wouldn't have them do that. But like I said, it looks complicated the first time. I totally agree with you. But when they dance it a few times, it becomes very fluid and very easy. If I was to get dancers up, there's no way in the world I'd do this. Okay. Going here, Aaron, and then you, John.
I'm Ed Clapla from Nebraska. Along these lines of that, we use something similar to doing, and probably, I don't know whether most of you are familiar with Explode the Square. Okay, that's a very good routine, as to whereas you have to, like you say, you have to practice your routine, but it has a cross trail through, in which, it used to be one of our basic movements, but that's a very good, and everybody then also faces out, because Explode the Square, if you're not familiar with it, is a California twirl, face out, cross trail through, skip one girl, star through with the next one, and you do that again and you're back. So
exactly, and cross trail through. Where Barry? No, he's not even. Cross trail through. Bill, where's cross trail through now? Is it on advanced? Cross trail through is on advanced. I just had a question. Would it be okay to do cross trail through in a demo group? Sure it would be. So whatever works. You bet. Aaron Byers is next.
To quickly expand on something Patty said she does, and I've talked about this before, and they actually had me write an article and published it in American Square Dance. Sometimes dancers do need just a minute to collect their breath. And what we do then is Scott gives me the microphone, and what I do is I answer those questions that I know every one of those spectators has in their mind, because they're the same questions every time. They want to know about attire. They want to know, is there an age limit? They want to know, can singles dance? So I answer those questions before they ask them. Another thing I do is I'll ask the dancers, I say, how many of you guys met your spouse while you were square dancing? And see all those hands go up. And the single people in the audience are like, ooh, So think about, when you've been at a demo and walk through the audience and listen to what people say to their friends, and then get on the mic and answer the questions, because they're going to be too embarrassed to come and ask you.
Yes, John Gein from San Angelo, Texas. I just wanted to suggest that if anybody's got that old record, the Music Box Dancer, you probably have it in the back of your case and you probably never use it. But if you do star the route with the Music Box Dancer, that is an excellent demo. And it's, as Vernon says, stars impress people, and you see as many stars there as you do in anything. Thank you.
You bet. Anything else? Yes.
My name is Dave Williams from Salida, Colorado. I'd like to get a clear definition of the difference between exhibition and demonstration. Maybe I'm laboring under a false impression. To me, an exhibition is something where the callers experience, the dancers have danced together, and you're putting out a demonstration to somebody, or an exhibition out to somebody where it's in the best light. And the demonstration is more of a relaxed thing where you maybe practice some, but not that much. It's exhibition is more of a formal thing. Am I mistaken, or on the definition, or what?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Would anybody else? The difference between a demo and an exhibition? Looks good to me.
The big difference is, are you performing or are you involving?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Anything else? Keith?
A question for you, Vernon. If you were doing something at a fair, say, where you did not have a group that you could practice with ahead of time, but you did want to have the dancers get out and do a little, is there any particular thing, I know stars we already talked about, but things that would get the dancers more involved with the audience that you could do without them having practice in dance with ordinary dancers?
If we're just ordinary dancers and not a practice demo group, I would do anything that they are comfortable with doing. One of the things that I was going to talk about, and Patty touched on, is that demonstrations are not the place to be showing how hard I can call or how much challenge I can do. So the things that I would do would be very easily obtainable dance figures for the dancers to do, because I don't want them breaking down. I was at a panel yesterday on how we look, and most everybody knows who Don Beck is, and Don Beck says he doesn't mind people breaking down at demonstrations, and his reasoning is that if the people or the non-dancers in the audience see people breaking down, they will feel more comfortable that it's okay and it's going to happen. And that's a perfectly legitimate way to think. I don't think that way. I want things for the people to look simple enough to be done, but good enough to be enticing for them to do it.
Barbara Burton from Oklahoma. My husband, when he does what you want to call demonstration dancing, where we're going to involve the audience, what he does with our dancers is the same thing he's going to be doing with the audience. So they see it. It's something that they can accomplish. One of the things he always does is grand square, because that's very easy for the dancers to learn. And once they learn it, they feel like they have accomplished a big, big thing.
And I know there's one more. Did you have your hand out? Yeah, there's one more, and we're already past time, so we'll make this the last one, then we'll wrap up.
I'm actually philosophically in agreement with you, Vernon, on Ruth Riegelhaupt-Herzig from Sunnyvale, California. I am in agreement with you philosophically about not wanting to see mistakes, but I had an interesting thing happen a few weeks ago. We did a demo at an elementary school, and one of the things we did is we had them count all the stars throughout the figure, which kept them really attentive. But also, we had a bunch of our class members were out. And I explained that they were class members, and they made a lot of mistakes. And it was not intended as a promotional event, but people from there came to our class after that the following week. So, and they made a lot of mistakes. So my philosophy is kind of changing, so I thought I would share that story.
Very good. Dad just mentioned, and the other routine that we have has the old call, rip, and snort in it. Remember I said that I have two dance routines. It has the old call, rip, and snort in it. We have couple number 3. Remember, couple number 3 is here. Couple number 3 come down the middle and rip and snort, and the reason is obvious. It puts these people facing the intended audience and all the way through, so you might consider doing that. Thank you all for being here. Hope you had a good time. Hope you got some ideas and interest in this type of thing. If you did not get one of the handouts in the dance routine, put your name and email address here, and I'll be happy to send one to you. Thank you.